Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are looking at the K2SO series or the KX series droid. Um, we have one in a holiday, and as you can see, obviously I've gotten it on clearance. Like I said before, I've got a bunch of figures that I had gotten like this on clearance or whatever have you, and we just have not gotten through a lot of these. So this week we're kind of going through a bunch of these and having fun with it all. So let's let's look at our holiday version of it, and then we'll get to the more serious one here. I think I cut the tape, but I never opened it up. All right, or at least somebody cut the tape. Looks like everything is in there, so that's good. Nice plastic packaging. It does make it a little bit easier trying to get this out. Um, all right, and we have BD here from shoot, what's the video game called? I played the first one. I didn't play the second one. But, all right, get this all out of the way here, and it's all right. So I'm sure that these are going to be very identical, just a different coloration of everything. But let's have some fun and kind of go through like we normally do. Now this has got going. We have our ankle joint right here, so that's kind of neat. And then this is going to just kind of slide back and forth. So yeah, that works out all right. This does not move. It goes forward and backwards, but it's not going to move sideways. Our lower leg does rotate here because that's going to be a joint to fit into here that does rotate there. Makes sense, being that that's going to be a separate set of pieces here. We have our leg. Nice tall figure in relation to other figures. So scale wise, I think they have the scale really good. We do not have a torso twist. That's all kind of stuck there. It's like it wants to move, but everything just the way it's all set up, it doesn't go. We only have a single joint here for our shoulder, and of course, then once we get here, and then again, this is a separate piece, so this twists on both sides there. And then we have our wrist, which twists and then goes in and out there. All right, looking at our head mount, works pretty good. We have a joint down here, a ball joint here, as well as underneath the head. I do, because I was just doing some other action figures or whatever. I don't know if I have a hat here or not. From some of the Joe figures or whatever, I don't see a hat. I must have that on the figure itself or so. Um, yeah, well, I was kind of wondering if I could get a hat put on there and have it sit there. Just having the fun of being able to kind of customize some of the figures. And of course, then we see the same kind of electronic battery setup here as what we see on the Stormtrooper armor. So that's kind of nice to see a reuse of that same type of um, posting there. Now, this was bent over. Here's our antenna, so you can get all the information for communications and so on and so forth, and just kind of going from there. I think they did a really good job with the Rogue One. I didn't have a problem with it. Um, Coming up with vehicles of their own, styles of their own, and all that. I think that worked out really well. Giving us new technologies and all that works pretty good. And of course, then we have a kind of heavier blaster pistol of some sort. I don't know if you want to consider this like the. Actually, he only fired it and it was a single shot. So, in some regards, some of these, you know, I'm going to look at it and wonder, is it going to be a Star Wars version of like the old Uzi from back in the 70s or so. Uh, just how things evolve, um, and going from there. All right, so now we have our K series, KX series, and then we have our BD being in white and blue, and he's got the chicken feet here. Works pretty good. The head kind of goes back and forth, so you can try and give it that little quizzical look. Let's see, we do have a little coloration. I don't know if it goes forward. It doesn't seem like it does. So it's very basic. Just a couple minor joints here. The legs do rotate all the way around. So that works out pretty good. Okay. Not a lot of movement here, but there's not much to them. So in some regards, you might almost want to put a little bit of double-sided tape so you can stick them onto a character's shoulder or something like that when you display them. That might be kind of slick, but using the tape in that might be heresy for some people because they don't want to mess up the plastic mold or any paint or whatever that's on there. So I understand that too, but it would be kind of neat to just have them kind of hunched over on a shoulder. All right, let's kind of set him here. He's yeah, okay, I got him standing. Seemed like he wanted to lean backwards, so a little leery about how he's going to stand there. Actually, one of the things that we didn't look at, and we'll look at this one right away first, just for the off chance, looking at the feet to see if we can get the feet onto a base. So I have some G.I. Joe bases here that should work fairly well. Now, looking at the normal colorized version, we do not have any weapons. So he's just the standard droid here. But looking at all the joints, it's all done the same way, going forward and backwards. His joints are a little stiffer, kind of rotating through just the singles. Yeah, he's identical, just different coloration. Has the nice print on here for the Galactic Empire. Looks good. Everything's kind of nice on the back. And on the bottom, we do have the pegs there. So I'm going to use a G.I. Joe base from one of our figures from the other day. And I'm going to get him there we go. There. And to help him stand a little bit better. Looking at the paint on the bottom here, it looks like it's painted up to show like some scuffing here from walking around on whatever terrain. They did a good job. You know, they're like little blemishes, like he's been out and about and has seen a little bit of work. Not a freshly painted figure. Kind of like when you watch the Clone Wars, when they call the new ones shinies, because they have nice shiny armor. Seeing that they're new clones. So he does not have that nice shiny armor on him. He's got blemishes here and there, showing he's got a little wear and tear from doing the things that he needs to do. So, all right. Now, I will say this, having watched Rogue One a couple times, one of the things I don't quite remember is seeing the Imperial symbol on the side of K2SO. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I thought they had painted over that, but either way, I think that would be one thing that they might have taken off or something like that. Not put on a Rebel Alliance symbol, but just kind of cover that up, just have a little distinction between K2SO and any of the other ones. Besides just how he walks. He's got a different gant when he walks, which was kind of mentioned because he's been freed from the Imperial programming. So he walks a little bit differently than the other KX series droids for the Empire, which is kind of nice to see that they went into all of that to differentiate him in just the little ways. Okay, and then we get our BD1 here kind of standing up as well, so we have all three of them. You know, they're nice looking figures. They really are. I just wish we had a weapon here, but the fact that he never really had his own gun, he just grabbed whatever, it does make some sense. And we just kind of go from there. So you know, shorter video, nice figures. You know, the holiday color, just to get something different. And for some of the people that are really good with painting and all that, and my hands shake too much for that, I really get to see that when I'm playing with a little laser light there for Indy. It just, my hand just starts shaking, which is why I don't like to paint too much anymore because, I'm trying to keep everything straight. But for those that like to repaint figures or whatever, getting a holiday one and saying, hey, I want to paint it up for some other series. Even if you were to take all the red and kind of paint it black or whatever, maybe even with a, say, like a magic marker or something, paint it black and say that that's going with a stormtrooper attachment, so it's white to fit in with the stormtroopers, would make a little bit of sense there. But everyone's going to have their own view on this stuff, and that's the wonderful thing with the droids. And if you get something that's a little off or something, maybe you want to paint it up to designate it from something else and going on from there. All right, well, with that being said, thank you so very much for joining me today. It's wonderful having you here. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you in the next video.